What is going on, everybody? I'm Jason DeRusha. Welcome to the 734 from WCCO. We know a lot of you are on your way out to work, maybe about to head out the door, so let's get you started with today's weather forecast. And, well, it's cold. Yep, it's going to be cold. And later tonight, it'll be colder. Cold, cold, and colder. How do you feel about that? At least it's sunny. So all of you who are crabbing about the temperatures in the 30s and the clouds, you got what you wanted. So enjoy the sun and run quickly into your workplace. Let's talk about this. It's almost hard to believe. It has been 40 years since what's still considered the greatest upset in sports, Saturday, the 40th anniversary of Miracle on Ice, when U.S. men's Olympic hockey team shocked the world, defeating the Soviet Union. No one thought the U.S. had a chance. And then they went on to bring home the gold medal, that iconic call, "Do you believe in miracles?" Huge celebration and parade in St. Paul this weekend because the Miracle on Ice, so many Minnesotans a part of it. And it's one of those moments people remember where they were when it happened. So this morning we're asking you, what is your Miracle on Ice moment? A huge sports moment that you remember exactly where you were when it happened. Leave a comment on the WCCO Facebook page. We'll read through a couple of your comments in just a moment. Let's get you up to date on the news going on here in Minnesota. Firefighters having a tough time putting out a fire at a recycling plant that is just to the north of the Twin Cities. How about this thing? Just started yesterday and has been burning for more than 24 hours. Northern Metals recycling plant in Becker. It has sent smoke pouring in the air. It could be seen as far south as Albertville. When it comes to the fire itself, the chief says dropping temperatures were making the firefighting so difficult. Very hard to put that fire out.
Rotating the firefighters, it's cold out. You got water that's freezing. Access to water is also an issue. What they're going to be doing is continuing to pick apart the pile of debris there to get to the root of the fire. And unfortunately, what's happening is it keeps flaring up when they do that.
Firefighters from several departments have been called in to fight this thing. The Minnesota National Guard also expected to arrive on scene this morning. And just know, if you're smelling something funny in your neighborhood in the North Metro, it's probably that fire. Nobody hurt in an apartment fire in Minneapolis last night. Started just after 8, Stevens Square neighborhood. Fire officials say it was a 4th floor unit where this fire started. Then it spread to the apartment below. A witness described a really chaotic scene.
All of a sudden it just started blowing flames, and we started yelling and screaming. My friend called 911, banging on windows, dialing the numbers on the directory, just telling people to get out.
We're told a pet cat did die in that fire. A Metro Transit bus was brought to the scene to help keep residents warm. The cause of the fire still being investigated. A Minnesota man evacuated from Wuhan, China, is expected to return home to the Twin Cities today. Yulin Yin from Minneapolis. He's among hundreds of Americans being monitored for coronavirus at Travis Air Force Base in California. They've been under quarantine since February 5th. More of the evacuees are set to be released tomorrow. Hundreds of other Americans who were evacuated from the infected Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan, they are just starting their quarantine period back in the United States, including this couple from Eden Prairie. Coronavirus cases around the world now top 75,000. More than 2,000 people have died. How about this? Former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich is a free man this morning after President Donald Trump commuted his prison sentence. Oh, what a media scene as Blagojevich, former governor, walking up the steps to his Chicago home overnight for the first time in almost 8 years. He was serving time in a prison in Colorado. This was an incredible case. He was accused and convicted of trying to sell President Obama's vacant Senate seat. He thanked President Trump for shortening his 14-year sentence.
He didn't have to do this. He's a Republican president. I was a Democratic governor, and my fellow Democrats don't treat him very good.
President Trump also granted clemency to almost a dozen felons, many of them high profile. The president is in Las Vegas this morning. He arrived late last night, holding a campaign rally on Friday night before the Nevada caucuses on Saturday. The marquee event in Vegas tonight, though, is the 9th Democratic debate. 6 candidates will appear on stage, including a new face to the debate stage, Michael Bloomberg, who has, of course, done debates back when he was the mayor of New York City. But he is making his debut on the presidential stage. Totally a self-funded campaign. He's already spent more than $400 million on TV, radio, online ads. He recently said he's willing to shell out as much as $1 billion to defeat President Trump. Other candidates are saying he's trying to buy his way into the presidency. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. So they had this goal of being financially independent, right? And we all thought, this is great. Modern couple. You don't need this royal nonsense to make your money. Last month, they said, hey, you know what? We're out. We're not going to be senior members of the British royal family. But apparently, part of how they thought they would make money is by creating a brand that was called Royal Sussex. Does this take a little bit of the shine off of stepping back from the royal family, yet trying to make a bunch of money by creating a brand called Royal Sussex? Queen Elizabeth apparently still debating whether or not she is going to sign off on the use of the word royal in their brand. What a load, the whole thing. Girls State High School Hockey Tournament begins today in St. Paul. Class 1A quarterfinals start this morning at XL Energy Center. First up is Wilmer against number 2 seed Warroad at 11. Then tonight, we'll be watching two-time defending champion Breck taking on Laverne at 6. All right, maybe the high school hockey tournament is your miracle on ice. That's a different deal. Miracle on ice moment. Let's bring in WCCO's digital guy, Cole. We're asking people kind of what is a sports moment where they'll always remember where they were when it happened.
Yeah, we have Melissa saying the Minneapolis Miracle, of course.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Now, that was kind of the opposite of the Miracle on Ice in a way, because both were huge moments in a non-championship game.
Definitely.
And the Vikings choked City when they were in Philly.
We like
Miracle on Ice, they got the gold.
That's true. I actually remember that one because I was at a wedding in Mexico. And
La-ti-da.
that was at the reception.
Sounds very fancy, Cole.
And then we have
how much money is this website thing paying? What am I doing over here?
It took half of my year's salary.
I bet. Yes.
And then we have Daryl lastly saying the last time the Packers won the Super Bowl in Dallas.
Oh, wow. Way to rub that in.
Exactly.
You knew a Packers fan had to get in there. Remember where you were the last time the Vikings won the Super?
Oh, wait.
That's it for the 734 from WCCO, where much of the Twin Cities is on the go. The rest of you just enjoying streaming this. We're glad to have all of you here as we bring you the latest in mobile news. Christian Cordero should be back here tomorrow at 7:34. Until then, be nice to each other on the internet.